Hi folks, I'm Laird Landon. This is the first of 3 videos on caregiver support groups. The first I'll talk about the benefits of the groups. The second will actually show you a facsimile of a group. And the third will talk about the way I actually structure and carry out the group, in case you're interested in starting a group of your own. Groups have been around for a very long time. Alcoholics Anonymous was quite successful with groups in the 1930s. They're also used for drug rehabilitation or dealing with psychological problems that benefit from sharing. Stroke victims find that support groups are helpful in keeping them motivated to do the best they can at rehabilitation. Caregiver support groups really do a great deal for caregivers because the journey is so long and it's isolating. Social isolation is one of the most damaging parts of being a caregiver. Your friends don't understand what you're going through. They don't know what to say. They make you feel awkward. Your loved one may not want to leave the house. You tend to lose the hobbies that you had on your own because your time is spent only on this task of caregiving, especially in the later stages. So one of the real benefits of support groups is to reduce social isolation. One of the most common reactions of a new person that comes into a group is, I feel at home. I'm with people who get it, and I don't feel as alone. Secondly, support groups allow us as caregivers to share our feelings, to talk to each other about the parts that are hard. There are a number of terms that psychologists use for this experience. One is externalizing. When we say out loud that we're angry with our caregiver, our loved one, because she just messed up, and we want to get it right, but instead we lose our temper. If someone asks us what time it is 8 times, we say, I already told you that. And it makes us feel bad. It also makes them feel bad, and we realize that wasn't the right thing to do. We internalize that feeling and make us feel really sad. When we go to a group, though, and say it out loud, and others tell us they do the same thing, then we realize it's something in the situation. It's not something in us. Anger also, by the way, is a real indicator that we're tired and we need a break and we need to relax. So externalizing puts those feelings out so we can address them and deal with them instead of keep having them run through our head while we're trying to get some sleep at night. There's another technique that is very valuable in a support group. It's normalizing. When we say we get angry and others in the group say, yeah, that happens to me too, all of a sudden it's happening because of the situation we're in. It's not happening because we aren't adequate. This is extremely valuable to realize we're experiencing what others experience, and if they experience it too, maybe I'm normal. Maybe I don't need to get psychological help myself. Another thing that support groups do is they give us hope that we can get through this because the others in the group are getting through it. Maybe slowly, maybe they're no more happy than we are, but if they can do it, I can do it. It's also true that groups allow us to gain resilience And resilience is one of the most important concepts for people going through tough times. We have to not let the tough times drag us down. We have to process the tough times and say, what can I do about it? How can I find the motivation to carry on? And in groups, we find it. We find it with people in the group that are maybe a little farther along in the journey. And we go in and we are very unhappy that our loved one can't drive anymore, but we don't know how to take the keys away. And they all say that happened to us too. And then they tell us how they did it. Now maybe those ideas won't work for us, but they give us the underlying appreciation that this is a normal thing that happens in the caregiver's journey, and we will find a way. We also gain perseverance when we tell our success stories in group, because now we have not only given them a little boost, but we feel good that we have a purpose. Maybe our purpose is to help other caregivers. And it turns out about 20% of us who go through this long process want to give back. It was so difficult for us. We want to help others get through it. That certainly is what happened to me and my partner and many of the people in our foundation who are here to help caregivers. A final thing I want to mention is that support groups help us grieve. We often don't know until we're in a group that we in fact are grieving. We think, as we've talked about in some previous videos, oh, grief only happens after death and they're still alive. But they're less who they have ever been. They are losing their personhood, and that is registering on us. So in group, the first time somebody says, sounds like you're grieving, it hits us like a ton of bricks. And when we can name it again, we're externalizing. Oh, that's a grief bubble. I know what that is. I'm going to deal with that. We grieve all the way through, and support groups help us recognize it and help us deal with it. Finally, support groups teach us that we can't fix the disease. I've mentioned this previously too. But when we waste our time trying to find a cure, we lose, because we're diverting our attention away from helping them and towards being in a rabbit hole looking for a new way out. It's why the motto of our foundation is, our job is to keep our loved ones safe, keep them comfortable, and create moments of joy. Notice, it is not to find a cure for the disease, because the disease is going to win. And when we accept that, then we're able to focus on safety, comfort, and joy. That's very valuable. So there are many benefits to support groups. I just wanted you to know that if you find this valuable, you can look at our website, family-caregiver.org. And all of our videos are there. There's even a way, if you're able and have an interest in helping us out, to make a donation. You can write a check to our address that's on the website, and you can use PayPal on the website to make a direct donation using your credit card. Thank you.